Ever wondered why some of the most powerful people are often the quietest? It's the psychology of the self-sufficient introvert. Forget what you think you know about being quiet. This isn't about shyness. It's about strategic silence. While others are busy making noise, the introvert is observing, planning, and mastering their environment from within. They possess a unique kind of strength, one that doesn't need external validation. Their mind is their fortress, and their silence is their sharpest weapon. They don't react impulsively. They think, strategize, and when they finally make a move, it's decisive and impactful. This is how introverts turn their quiet nature into a powerful tool for influence and control. It's about owning your space and your thoughts and using them to shape your world. Want to learn more about harnessing this inner power? Subscribe for more insights. To understand the true power of the self-sufficient introvert, we need to start by addressing a key misconception. Solitude is not isolation, it is a source of power. Machiavelli understood the importance of strategic solitude. For those who seek power and influence, being alone is not a weakness. It's an opportunity to refine one's strategy, to think without distraction, and to build internal fortitude. The introvert knows this better than anyone. While the world outside clamors for attention, approval, and validation, the introvert uses solitude as a time to recharge, reflect, and prepare. This time alone is not spent in vain. It's during these periods that introverts build their emotional resilience and hone their strategic thinking. They observe the world, study behavior, and analyze situations from a place of quiet clarity. In the chaos of social interaction and constant noise, introverts find peace in the quiet hand, clarity in stillness. Machiavelli himself believed that the ability to withdraw strategically and remain detached from the world's noise was a sign of true power. The introvert's greatest strength lies in their ability to retreat without losing their influence. They don't need to be seen all the time. They don't need the spotlight. They understand that real control comes from being able to step back, observe, and make decisions from a position of calmness and ruthless clarity, while extroverts often act in a moment, driven by external forces and the need for validation. Introverts are slow-moving and deliberate, choosing to act only when it suits their purpose. They understand that the loudest person in the room isn't always the most powerful. In fact, by remaining quiet, they often accumulate more power because people underestimate what they cannot easily see. For the self-sufficient introvert, solitude is not the absence of connection. It's the space where their true power is forged. Comment: I find power in silence if you resonate with the strength of solitude, because the more you embrace it, the more strategic and calculated you become, silently building your power from within, while the world outside scrambles for attention. At the core of every self-sufficient introvert is one fundamental trait. This is the bedrock upon which all introverted power is built. Unlike those who depend on constant external validation or the approval of others, introverts know that their greatest resource is within themselves. Machiavelli wrote about the importance of being not just in material wealth, but in the control over one's emotions, actions, and destiny. For the introvert, this control starts with self-discipline. Self-reliance is not just about doing things on your own. It's about learning to trust your inner guidance over external noise. It's about not relying on others to define your success. This trait often sets introverts apart. They understand that true power comes from being able to stand firm even when no one is watching, and to make decisions based on internal clarity, not external influence. They aren't driven by the need to impress others or gain validation. Instead, they define success on their own terms and pursue it with quiet, unwavering focus. While the world may push the extrovert to seek attention, approval, and social validation, the introvert builds internal validation. They reflect on their goals, test their ideas in private, and allow themselves the space to fail and try again without fear of judgment. In that space, they grow their capabilities, refine their strategy, and align their actions with their long-term objectives. In many ways, the self-sufficient introvert embodies the Machiavellian principle that control over oneself is the first step in controlling the environment around you. Mastery of self allows the introvert to move with quiet authority, making decisions based on logic and patience, while others are ruled by impulse and the chaos of social pressure. This self-reliance doesn't mean isolation or loneliness. It means the ability to move through the world confidently, knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to define your worth or success. You are the architect of your life. Comment, I trust my inner strength. If this resonates, because when you rely on yourself to navigate life's challenges, you create the mental fortitude to face any situation with control and calmness. This observation is not just about gathering information. It's about assessing risk, identifying allies, and understanding the power dynamics at play when everyone else is focused on talking and proving their worth. The introvert is quietly gathering the data they need to make informed decisions. They know that true power comes not from speaking up, but from knowing when to act and when to remain silent. By choosing silence, the introvert makes others reveal more about themselves than they intended. People who crave attention often overshare, misstep, and expose their weaknesses. The introvert watches and waits, gathering the intelligence that will later guide their actions. Machiavelli's wisdom tells us that those who control information control power, and introverts are natural information gathered. They may not always share what they know, but when the time is right, they act decisively with the knowledge they've quietly acquired. Comment, I observe to act if you resonate with the power of observation. Because when the introvert masters the art of strategic silence and observation, they not only stay 10 steps ahead, they control the entire game without ever saying a word. One of the introvert's greatest strengths is their ability to choose who they allow into their inner circle. Unlike extroverts, who often seek connection for validation or emotional release, the self-sufficient introvert is more strategic about the people they invest in. This selective interaction, ISNT, about avoiding puet, S about understanding the value of each relationship and ensuring that time, energy, and trust are only given to those who truly contribute to their goals. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of alliances, but not just any alliances, strategic alliances. He understood that power is shaped not only by your own actions, but by the people you align with. For the self-sufficient introvert, every connection made must serve a purpose, whether it's personal, professional, or emotional. This doesn't mean introverts are cold or selective in a negative sense. They understand the value of quality over quantity. They don't need a large social network because they recognize that a small, trusted group of individuals is far more powerful. When you're selective about who you allow into your life, you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being, and you make room for the relationships that truly support your vision. Empaths and introverts both share the ability to feel deeply, but where empaths often give away their energy freely, introverts hold it back until they've evaluated the person in front of them. They observe behavior, listen to words, and watch how others treat them. This gives them the power to decide who gets close and who remains at a distance. By being selective with their interactions, introverts protect their energy and make sure that every relationship is mutually beneficial. They know that trust, loyalty, and respect cannot be demanded, they must be earned. And once an introvert has decided someone is worthy of their inner circle, they give that relationship their full loyalty and attention. For the introvert, relationships are a valuable resource, and just like any valuable resource, they don't share it indiscriminately. The people they let in are trusted to uphold their values, protect their space, and contribute positively to their lives. Machiavelli believed that in any game of power, knowing who your allies are and who isn't was key. The introvert's selective interaction ensures that they never waste time on relationships that drain them or on people who aren't worth their attention. Because when you're careful about who you allow into your world, you create an environment where your time, energy, and influence are respected, and ultimately, your power grows exponentially. One of the defining traits of the self-sufficient introvert is their patience. Unlike extroverts, who often act impulsively, driven by the need to be seen and heard, introverts understand the strategic value of waiting. For them, patience is not about inactivity, it's about gathering information, observing the landscape, and timing their moves with precision. Machiavelli understood the power of patience. He knew that the most successful players are those who wait for the right moment, those who don't act out of haste, but out of deliberate strategy. The self-sufficient introvert embodies this principle perfectly. They know that true power doesn't come from reacting to every situation or chasing every opportunity. Instead, it comes from carefully selecting when to act and when to remain still. In the world of power dynamics, those who rush into decisions or who seek immediate validation often fall into traps. They overextend themselves, expose their vulnerabilities, and make hasty mistakes. But the introvert, who has mastered the art of strategic stillness, avoids these pits. They understand that time reveals the truth, and they allow the world to show its hand before they make a move. This patience allows the introvert to reserve their energy for the moments that matter. They don't waste time on every fleeting opportunity. Instead, they wait for the right alignment, when their actions will have the most impact. This isn't passivity, it's a deliberate, calculated choice to wait for the best opportunity to strike. When everyone else is rushing, the introvert moves with purpose, and when they do, the impact is more significant. They've observed, they've assessed, and now they act with precision. This is the power of patience. It is not about standing still in the face of opportunity, but knowing when your move will create the most power and the most influence. Machiavelli's advice was simple. The patient ruler holds power. The introvert who has mastered patience holds the upper hand because they've learned the value of waiting, the importance of timing, and the strength of silence. Are you ready to embrace patience as your strategy? Comment a move with purpose if you resonate with the quiet power of patience, because once you learn to wait for the right moment, you stop reacting to the world and start shaping it on your terms. This is where the self-sufficient introvert's true strength becomes undeniable. The quiet power that comes from self-awareness, strategy, and control. The introvert who has mastered solitude, emotional control, patience, and selective interaction moves through the world like a force of nature, silent, unseen, but deeply impactful. They no longer need to assert their dominance or seek attention. Their presence alone commands respect. Machiavelli understood that power comes not from shouting the loudest or making the biggest splash, but from being able to move quietly, decisively, and with purpose. The self-sufficient introvert embodies this perfectly. They don't need the spotlight because they know true power is felt in the shadows, where quiet moves are often the most calculated and where influences are not demanded. As they continue to observe, adapt, and build, their strategic patience and emotional discipline create an aura of unpredictability and control. Those who once overlooked them now see them as a force that cannot be ignored. People become uncertain of their next move because the introvert has created an environment where emotional responses are rare and actions are deliberate. This phase is when the introvert becomes unstoppable, not by force, but by sheer mental clarity and strategic thinking. They remain calm and collected even in the face of chaos, and their quiet demeanor conceals a mind that is always calculating, always observing, and always one step ahead. The self-sufficient introvert knows that success does not come from forcing outcomes. It comes from aligning everything with their greater purpose. And when the time is right, they act without hesitation, without explanation, and without remorse. This quiet power makes them nearly untouchable. They move through the world, gathering allies when needed, and cutting ties when it suits them. They do not need to prove their worth because their actions speak louder than words ever could. Now, are you ready to embrace your quiet power and become unstoppable? Because when the introvert finally masters their inner world, they become a force that reshapes the outer one. Quiet, calculated, unstoppable. Thank you for watching the journey of the self-sufficient introvert IFT, about changing who you are. It's about embracing the quiet strength and strategic power that has always been within you. When you understand the psychology of introversion and start applying these Machiavellian principles, you unlock a version of yourself that is not only resilient but unstoppable. If you're ready to move through the world with purpose, precision, and patience, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Patter Decoder for more insights on how to use your inner power to navigate and dominate life's dynamics. Remember, true power is not about being the loudest in the room. It's about knowing when to move, when to wait, and how to control your own narrative. Stay strategic, stay silent, and let your actions speak louder than anything else. I'll see you in the next video. Keep mastering the game.